questions are power. And as you're coaching, asking the right question, or you're being coached, is being able to ask the right question. Does this make sense? Or knowing what question to ask. So number one question that I used to always go to if someone came to me to make sure that I understood it was, so what is your outcome? Like, you're telling me all this. What's your outcome by dumping on me? Like, because that's what people want to do. They want a therapist as much as anything. I hear you. And what is your outcome with sharing that? Like, I want to know what your outcome is with telling me. Do you want me to listen? Or do you want me to give advice, right? And so, like, I think it's important for you to know the same questions to ask yourself. Even before you call Dustin, why am I actually calling Dustin? I'll give you a quick example. I had a good friend. He's a mentor. Went to high school with him. His name was Paul. And, I mean, he would like, when I say frustrated me to no end, because he was my buddy, right? And I almost basically lived with him. He was making like $150,000 a month. I wasn't making anything. I wanted to be able to generate that income. And I'll never forget, I would call him, and I think he got this from Brian Tracy. I'm not sure where he got it. But he'd say, "What do you need?" And that would piss me off. Well, I mean, he's like, "Listen, I'm busy. What do you need? You got 2 minutes." And sometimes he would have an hourglass on his desk, like a 3-minute, and he turned over. And half the time I wouldn't even know what I needed when I called him. I was calling him just to talk, like, so he could preach to the choir. And I was just busy. And I'll never forget, he interrupted my pattern one time. He goes, "Dude, you waste so much time. You talk to the same people over and over and over again, but you're not talking to any new people." And it's okay. Sometimes you got to preach to the choir to build your dream, but it made me realize it wasn't an income-generating activity. He was in work mode. "Hey, well, do you have anybody for me to talk to? Call me back when you do." He literally would say that, and it would piss me off. But every 2 or 3 weeks, he would go out, and we would, get something to eat and just kind of like play grab ass or whatever. And I felt like really good and comfortable. But like when he was in work mode, and he's like, "It's a joke. Like, you talk to the same people for 2.5 hours. What did you all accomplish? You're getting ready to get ready." My point by saying that is, his simple question to me is, "What do you need? Do you have anybody for me to talk to?" He was moving my business forward. And even though it pissed me off, it created urgency for me to realize, what am I doing? So before I call Dustin, know why I'm calling Dustin. What am I calling Dustin for? And it's okay sometimes to call Dustin just to talk, because I need some support. I've had a bad day, right? But there's other times where if you're going to call Dustin, utilize him to move your business forward. You have business and you have personal. Very, very seldom can you do this. Have both, right? So just remember those. And here's some other primary questions. I think as a coach and you're getting buy-in from someone, ask them, are you willing to be coached? Because I'm really not willing to work with someone that's not willing to put their socks on properly. Are you willing to show up to every call that I do? Are you willing to, I'm saying, that can be a little bit militant, but my point is, it's okay if they say no. You put them in a different compartment and you support them different than the others. Am I making sense? But how many of you, as you're coaching your teams, are asking primary questions so you know how to approach them and coach them the proper way, not to blow them out? Make sense? Another great question is, who are they playing for? Show interest in them. Why are they doing this? Okay, I want to make 10 grand a month. Great, but why? Why is it? And then who are you playing for? We do an entire segment at events just about who you're playing for, because it's proven. Sometimes it's we have to do it for ourselves to prove to ourselves. Other times we do more for others than we'll ever do for ourselves, loved ones. But do we even have an awareness? Because it's going to take something more to get us over the hump than just a dollar figure we've never created, right? You have to have something more tangible in mind.